Well, the main objective to me of spring practice is to focus on player improvement, whether it's what a player needs to be able to do, the technique of how he should do it, and have an understanding conceptually of why it's important to do it that way. I think in the spring you don't have game plans, you don't have to change what you're doing. It's an opportunity for everybody to know our offense, our defense, our special teams, and understand what's expected of them. I think it's also a time where a player needs to learn how to practice, which means give effort, play with a certain amount of toughness relative to what's defined in that particular drill. And everybody's got to be able to perform. I don't care what your circumstances are. I don't care what issues, what problems you have, whether you're coming off of being hurt, whether you had a bad day academically, or whatever. You still got to show that you're dependable and you can go out there and perform. That's a part of mental toughness, I think, and focus that every player has to sort of prove that he can do. And each player should evaluate that for themselves every day. What kind of effort did I give today? I'm going to evaluate myself. How dependable was I today? Was I responsible to do my job? How many mental errors did I make? Was I able to play with the right technique? Was I able to succeed in my responsibility for what I was supposed to do? And if I didn't do it, I'd be able to look at the film and learn from it so that you can progress and improve, right? Which goes back to the first statement of that's the number one thing that we want to try to accomplish. But there was a lot of good carryover with a lot of players. We have a lot of players that are young players that have an opportunity created by the guys that left. Like I've said before, every year you got to reinvent your team. So who are going to be the leaders? Who are going to be the guys that set an example? Obviously, John Fulton, as we talked about, and Kevin Norwood, both guys had toe surgeries, and both guys, will be okay for the summer and the fall, but probably pretty questionable for the spring. Kevin for sure, John probably for sure as well. I think A.J.'s leadership is critical to our team, but A.J. has the capabilities of being a good leader, and he has to assert himself as that and impact and affect other people by, the example that he sets. But I think the players like A.J., I think they respect A.J., and I think that the more he does things the right way, the more he's going to be able to affect other people, and he's always done a good job of that. We've been pleased with that in the past, and I can't see any reason that it wouldn't be a real positive for him in the future. I also think that the young quarterbacks around him, he can do a lot to help their development by spending a little time, with them in terms of understanding. Anytime you've been through something and you have experience learning and growing in something, you can benefit somebody else that's trying to learn and grow through it based on the experience that you had. Our thoughts and prayers are obviously with, Mal and his family, and, I don't think it would be right for me to make any kind of an assumption about diagnosis, because I still think that that's, in the testing stages, and what decisions, get made relative to what's the best course of action to help him get healthy in the future. I think a lot of those things are still being determined, but I know Mal is in good spirits, and I went to see him on Wednesday. They took him over to Duke on Wednesday night, so I saw him before he left. I think he's in great hands with a lot of good people, and I know he's got a lot of family around him that are being very supportive, including his daughter Heather. So, our thoughts and prayers are with him, and we'd certainly appreciate, all of our fans and everyone out there who supports Alabama football to have a thought and a prayer for Mal and his family as well. I think we try to cover as many things as we possibly can in terms terms of what the expectation are and trying to define, you know, how we do things, what we want, and all that. But inevitably, you know, until you do it, you're probably not going to hit every circumstance that could possibly come up and how you'd like to manage it and what you'd like to do. But I thought the energy and enthusiasm was good. I think that they were, all those coaches are out there coaching and teaching every play. So, you know, I'm encouraged by the energy and enthusiasm that they're bringing and the new ideas that they've been able to bring. So it's all real positive from my standpoint. I don't even know that we're looking to make permanent changes. I think we're looking to see if any of those guys could help us and if this would be a better circumstance for how much they would be able to contribute to our team. And the first thing you got to do to determine that is, can the guy do it? You know, does he have the physical attributes to be able to do it and help you in some role? And I've been encouraged by all those guys. They're all really athletic. They've all played defensive back before, so it's not like they're lost. And I don't think, you know, there's any way that all those guys are going to end up on defense. You know, maybe one, you know, maybe two if they both had roles. You know, in some cases those guys have been very productive offensive players, so we don't want to really take away from that, especially Christian Jones, who has a lot of playing experience. But I have, in the past, when we had injuries or whatever, you know, we've had guys to be able to play both ways. You know, Michael Clayton at LSU, you know, was a receiver, and we were a little bit short at safety, and we taught him in the spring how to play safety, and lo and behold, by the end of the season, we got a couple guys hurt, and he played some safety, but it was easy for him to do because he already learned how to do it. So it gives you a little bit of an insurance policy when a guy could make that transition because he's learned it at some point in time before. And I think that's part of what we're trying to do as well. I would say that you know, the off-season program was good. I'd say until we got into the off-season program and sort of got a handle on things that you know, we did not respond as well as we would like, all right, with this group. And but I think they made a tremendous amount of improvement. I think we had, you know, more guys missing class, more issues. This is the first behavioral issue that we had with the guys that got in trouble in 5.5 years. Just a lot of little loose-ended things that, you know, when guys have entitlement, you see a little slippage. And once we got in the off-season program where we were seeing the players, you know, just about 4 out of 5 days, and the coaches were around them more, I think we've got them recentered and refocused, and we made a tremendous amount of improvement in all those areas. You know, we've had the best academic weeks that we've had all semester, and guys are making progress, and we really had a good off-season program, and the attitude was good today in practice, so we are making progress.